So what we've got here is Jagex listening to the community's want and desire for more quests in RuneScape that don't necessarily have to be these giant Grandmaster quests. In the old school content poll 51, Slayers and Dungeons, you can see at the very bottom there's been 3 questions sort of thrown in at the end here. Client of Kourend is a novice quest based on the lore surrounding Zeah and Great Kourend. Should it be added to Old School RuneScape? I can't imagine why anyone at all would vote no. Maybe these 317 people are people with questscapes and don't want to do more quests to keep the questscape, maybe? I don't know. If the quest is added, should one of the rewards be 20% favour in any house within Great Kourend? So when you complete it, you get the favour instantly, 20% completed. I think that's a good reward. Again, I don't see why people would not want that reward. As you can see, even more people voted no. Getting favour in Zeah is a completely garbage thing. Like, it's awful. It's a huge grind for something that maybe isn't worth that entire grind it took hours to do. As you can see in the corner, I've got 100% favour in every house, so I think I'm qualified to discuss what it's like to get favour in these houses, and it's garbage, it's awful. So yeah, I think making that a little bit less tedious with the 20% favour boost in a house of their choosing is a good way to get people introduced to the area. And below it, another question here: completing the quest should double the rate of gaining favour in all houses. Now, I voted yes on that. It's not passing right now. I would prefer it if it was like 20%, 30% boost in speed of getting favour. I spent hours and hours and hours on all of this, and so I don't want other people to suffer that. I wouldn't mind if other people got there like twice as fast. If it was lowered from permanently doubled to like an increase of 20%, 30%, it would have a better chance of passing, but right now it's failing. With this quest comes the opportunity for Jagex to fix one of the few problems left with Zeah and Great Kourend. With the initial release of Zeah, it was a complete just pile of shit. It was complete garbage. It was the landscape was very plain. The buildings looked cool and some of the scenery looked cool, but other than that, it was pretty plain. There was no one to speak to. Doing the favour was just boring. You didn't explore because there was no reason to. There was just nothing to it, but then slowly but surely over time they've added more content to Zeah, like Wintertod and raids, and they've done like graphical updates and sort of revamped it a little bit. So now when you walk through Zeah, it actually looks pretty fantastic, it looks awesome. But still, the only content actually worth doing is outside of Great Kourend, that piece of content, which is the 4 or 5 cities combined. Outside of that, you've got Wintertod and raids and the catacombs, but none of that are really linked to the city. That's all content without the city. Within the city, where you get the favour, and there's all these buildings and there's a ton of things, like a ton of scenery and a ton of NPCs. No one knows any of them. If I told you to name an NPC other than Watson, who gives you master clues from Zeah, you couldn't name one. To get from the docks of Zeah to the Lovakenge house, pub, tavern, bar, whatever you call it, how would I get there? Give me directions right now. You wouldn't know because you haven't explored the area. You don't know jack shit about the area because there's no reason to. However, a region that's a little bit smaller than the entirety of Zeah and Great Kourend, the city, is the free-to-play zone and free-to-play. If I ask you to give me directions from Lumbridge to the Blue Moon Inn within Varrock, you could probably give me a step-by-step guide on how to get there tile by tile, because you know that area, you've done quests in all of these areas, you've explored it, you've had reasons to explore it, and that's something Zeah's missing. There's no reason to do things. There's no reason to go places in Zeah other than the places where you grind the favour and then go to the final pieces of content like the Tithe Farm or Wintertod or the Lizard Men. Everything in between that is sort of, it looks cool, but there's no reason to go there. So hopefully the Client of Kourend quest, although it's a novice quest and it probably won't be that long, it'll be pretty short and it won't be like insanely jam-packed with like cutscenes and all that crap. Hopefully it does the job of introducing each house and giving some lore. In the content poll it did say that it will introduce lore and the area, which is something that I think should have been there when the region first came out. When the region first came out on release, I was there like on the hour, on the dot when it came out, and there was thousands of players there too, and then when we all got there and we were like, what is this place? There's not, okay, there's a few people there that have a few lines of dialogue, but it's all just fucking memes and garbage. There's nothing actually to it. If there was a quest there to introduce the area, I think it would have been a lot more appreciated and a lot more accepted by the community, but instead it was sort of called a joke and a piece of garbage because that's what it was at the time. Hopefully now with the introduction of this quest, because it looks like it's going to pass with flying colours 88% right now, it does solve that problem. So people who have just started playing RuneScape or people who just didn't go to Zeah before now have a reason to, and if they do go there, they are properly introduced to the area by doing the quest, and then once they've completed the quest, getting the favour, which is a huge pain in the ass and not really enjoyable in the slightest, is made a little bit less of a pain in the ass and a little bit more enjoyable because it's made faster. I genuinely believe that these 3 questions here that are being polled have the potential to solve all of the issues within Great Kourend the city within Zeah. Other than that, like the area with the raids and the area with the Wintertaunt, that's really cool. Those areas are nice, but those were additions after the initial release of Great Kourend. So yeah, the city of Great Kourend can be made great again. Well, not again, for the first time ever, with this introduction of the quest. I'm looking forward to it. I like doing quests in RuneScape, and I like exploring new content in RuneScape. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.